Welcome to the opposition. Crystal Palace fans, this show is all about you. My name's Sam Davis.
My name's Tom Jordan.
We're recording at Q Sports Bar in Boscombe, a venue that's about a 10-minute walk to the Vitality Stadium. So look, for the reverse fixture, I think it's at the start of May, Crystal Palace fans, you can make this place your own. It's 10 minutes walk from Folkestone train station, and like I say, just a short jaunt to the Vitality, and it's a great place for pool, snooker, darts, hot food menu and well-priced drinks as well. Why don't you get down here? More about that very soon. This is part 2 of a double-headed preview. If you didn't see part 1, what are you doing? Just go back through our videos on YouTube and click it, because this weekend we're travelling to your gaff in the aim of getting 3 points. But we know it's not going to be an easy one, is it, Tom? Because Crystal Palace, they're doing all right this season.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I think it's probably been quite nice for us. It's probably kept us under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
Because obviously we've done really well. But because of Palace unbeaten run, I think also coincide with that, they're doing well in Europe. Obviously won a cup, then won the Charity Shield. You know, they're in a really good place. So it's probably kept us on the radar, which is quite nice. But we always have tight games with them. Yeah. Probably anticipating another one, but kind of a little bit of excitement about the game, because it's two teams that are kind of mixing it with the big boys, and I'm always happy for that to happen. Always quite like Palace, really like Glasner. Yeah. So 2 top coaches, should be a good one.
Andoni Iraola versus Glasner has been, well, pretty boring so far. Goalless affairs. And Tom, we played them on Boxing Day, didn't we? And that was 0-0, and there wasn't much to write home about. But it looks like, from the stats alone, because my memory of games is shocking, we certainly dominated on shots tally.
Yeah, I think we done all right in terms of that. I think it was like you say, both games were just so dull, which is so bizarre, because you got 2 really offensive good coaches. It's almost like there's that respect factor of knowing how good the other team is, and it ends up just catching. We had it recently at home to Newcastle, I would say. We did, that it was quite similar, but I'd be surprised if there's another one. We've had a few 0-0s on Boxing Day. We had another 0-0 years ago against Palace on Boxing Day, and then obviously last season they were both 0-0, weren't they? Yeah,
that was towards the end of April. However, we did have a man advantage, didn't we?
Yeah, to be fair to them stats are obviously a little bit slanted, because they went down to 10 men just before half time. Yeah. And even though we had chances, we didn't really look like scoring. They done a good job to get a point with a whole half with less players.
I wanted to say congratulations to Cliff Richard, but it wasn't. It was Chris Richards who got sent off, and we sensed that we had it in our grasp then, but we couldn't quite convert. I remember seeing the highlights of that, and there was a moment that we had, one of the moments where we should have scored. This was in the first half. Antoine Semenyo flashed the ball across goal, and then it fell to Dean Howson, the ever-reliable Dean Howson, at the far stick. And rather than hit it towards goal, it almost rebounded back into the penalty area again. We did have a few moments, but it was one that was not really memorable whatsoever, I've got to say.
Not at all. And it was a fair result, because they done really well with 10. I do remember thinking we got quite lucky with the red, because of 2 yellows really quickly. That felt a little bit harsh, I remember thinking.
Massively.
But yeah, it was a dull game, but weirdly, it was a weird one, because it was a really dull game. They had 10 men, and before the game I'd have gone, that'd be a good point. Yeah. And it changes context so quickly. But hopefully this one will have goals.
Let's check out the league table then. For those listening on the audio pod, thank you for sticking with us. We've been listening to us for about 35 minutes so far, but we're plodding on with more content. AFC Bournemouth, 4th in the Premier League, and we still haven't lost since that opening day defeat to Liverpool. Crystal Palace, well, they were unbeaten themselves, apart from at Everton, 2-1. Was it Jack Grealish?
Yes,
it rebounded off him, didn't it? And they are in 6th place, though. Not bad at all, but you've got to say, mate, Crystal Palace, I mean, what Glasner has done there is absolutely elevated them. Yep. It seems like they toy with teams like Liverpool. They win trophies wherever they go, of course, FA Cup winners, and also the Community Shield winners as well. It must be so good to be a Crystal Palace fan, not least because you're in Europe as well.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Obviously, Europe helps, but just the feel-good factor around there, because I think it's pretty good where we are at the moment, but Palace is one of the teams that'll be even better. And it's also the style of football. It's also the fact that, obviously, we've had it a little bit this summer, but every season it feels like they lose a big player. And obviously they managed to keep one of them in the end in Guehi, but I'm sure they're anticipating that he'll be the next to go. But Eze, I mean, you just thought, when they lost him, I thought, that's going to hurt them. Season before, it was Elise. People even forgot Zaha. It almost felt like their main man would go, and Glasner is such a good coach that you would not know that they've lost Eberechi Eze.
No,
I
you
mean,
wouldn't.
I think Pino's probably gone under the radar, good addition, but they've got, we were saying before, weren't we? Now it feels like they're just a really good functioning team, and they haven't got, obviously from our perspective, a lot of people are talking about Antoine Semenyo, but from their sense at the moment, yes, they've got some big players, but it just feels like they're a really, really good functioning team with a proper coach, mate. They defend well, they attack well. Yeah, they're a really good outfit.
Well, it was in February 2024 that Glasner was appointed, and they went on a pretty decent run towards the end of that season, didn't they? And Crystal Palace fans were licking their lips somewhat. He's had a few dips during that, but it's fair to say over that time their trajectory's only been up. Yeah,
and it's again, it's very similar to us. I think, they've got a coach and there's been dips, but on the whole, the fans just loving them.
Obviously unfortunate that Europa/conference situation that feels unfortunate.
It feels unfortunate, but it's a chance to win a trophy. Again,
probably more of a chance.
Definitely, because you could pick out quite a few teams in Europa. You look at the conference, obviously the fact that no teams drop down anymore, and you think there isn't many that are kind of Palace level, and they are the favourites. So they'll enjoy it. And once you're in there, you're just going on European away days and stuff, and they'll really enjoy it. But yeah, as I say, mate, it does feel similar to ourselves.
6 wins from 7 games towards the end of that season. I mean, that's just unreal, right?
Yeah, they were on absolute fire, weren't they? They were the form team for a long, long time, and that took them into that cup final as well, obviously near the last stages, and it wasn't much of a shock, I didn't think, that they lifted the trophy. So we were hoping we were getting there at one point, but Palace done the job, and I think most fans were well happy to see Palace lift it.
They've just got this kind of resilience that I think in some ways you could say they're similar to us, but I think they're maybe a little bit more solid.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. I think they're a little bit more astute defensively than ourselves. I think there's similarities in style, but also obviously differences as well. And I think, probably at the back you would feel, it's weird because we have kept a few, but you'd back Palace in more games to keep clean sheets than ourselves.
Especially with people like Guehi, who's just absolutely superb. Possibly England's best defender, you were saying earlier.
Yeah, but I think he's our best centre-back. I think he's England's best centre-back. But I think, and what he's done is, obviously Richards is one of them, but he's kept Lacroix under the radar a bit. I think he's a very good centre-back that they signed not long ago. And they've got really good wing-backs that can do a bit of both. So, probably, I think that's a fair assessment. I think they're probably a little bit more defensively astute. I think goals-wise, I don't know. I think we've just got maybe that Semenyo factor, whereas we've got this kind of like talisman a little bit, which they've lost, but it's just meaning they're functioning better as a team.
If you're watching on YouTube, Palace fans, go and check our part 1, because we do wax lyrical about Antoine Semenyo, as everyone seems to be doing at the moment. Frustratingly for Bournemouth fans, but ultimately, look, that means you're doing well.
Yeah.
We're at Q Sports Bar in Boscombe. As we said, it's the place for pool, darts and snooker. Have you ever scored a 147, Tom, or do you even know what I'm talking about?
If I'm perfectly honest, I don't know what that means.
So usually we record in different locations within this place, but we thought, why not today record where there's a couple of snooker tables and it's a lovely, quiet environment. You can have music on if you want. Over that way, you've got some American pool tables, you've got some English pool tables. There are four dartboards as well. There's a huge Oktoberfest-style drinking area as well. So, like we say, for the return fixture, why not get down here before the game at Dean Court, Palace fans? But it's open to Cherries fans during the week as well. They showed the internationals, of course, this week, and also they've got TNT, Sky Sports, so it's the place to be, and a good hot food menu too.
Yeah, definitely, mate. When are they coming down? May?
Yeah.
Come in here, have a game of pool before the title decider.
And then head down to the beach afterwards, why not?
Yeah, why not? Enjoy yourselves. We're probably going to nick them to the title that day, so they might as well enjoy it.
Let's check out Palace's recent results then. We'll go from September then, and we'll start with a match against Sunderland, which I think many Crystal Palace fans would have hopefully been wanting them to get 3 points in, but they didn't.
No, it was a massive point for Sunderland, a really impressive one. I think the Sunderland goalkeeper on the day had a good game.
Yeah.
Palace after Path, it was one of them games. We've had similar ones where they couldn't quite get over the line, but as we just kind of alluded to, mate, they still keep that back door closed, which is really, really important. The one that surprised me was that Millwall took them all the way.
Yeah.
That really did surprise me, but obviously they made changes in that game. I think going to West Ham, it's a weird one now, but Palace have got, I know West Ham are struggling a little bit, but Palace away at West Ham should be a game that's really, I just think, Palace go and win.
Yeah.
They'll go and win. It wasn't the most convincing, but they get the job done. Obviously, the one that stands out is beating Liverpool.
I mean, that was incredible, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant from them.
They battered them. They absolutely battered them. They should have had the game out of sight, really. And then it looked like Liverpool nicked a point out of it, and they went straight up the other end. And that's another thing, you see. I think people forgot about the fact that it was Eddie Nketiah that got that last minute winner, and you go, it's showing that, oh yeah, okay, the squad's probably, because they've been doing so well, you don't rotate much, because why would you change what's working?
Yeah.
It shows that they've got some options off the bench. Whatever you think of Eddie Nketiah, it's not a bad striker to bring on at the end. He can nick a goal, and then obviously, as we said, mate, they're doing pretty well in Europe as well.
So let's check out their transfer business then that happened over the summer. And there were a couple, one major big name that left, eh?
That was the big one, mate. Eze obviously got good money for him. It felt like it was always going to happen. It looked like it was going to be Tottenham for ages, didn't it? And then Arsenal coming at the last minute, which was, quite funny to see. I think Edouard ended up going, which was always going to be the case. I saw that Rob Holding went. I thought, I didn't even know he was still there. I thought he went ages ago. That did not work out. Schlupp went, and who's been a decent pro for him. And I think obviously a few loans. I've seen that Franca and Saki play a little bit, and I think they're players that look pretty exciting, so I think they're just getting them some minutes. But yeah, they kept the core together, done what they do. They get really good money in for one star player and just keep going.
Of course, we'll speak about Glasner and what happened with Mark Guehi very, very shortly. But in terms of their arrivals, mate, I mean, they signed that one that looked like a Brummie comedian, didn't they?
Brummie comedian. Oh, dear.
Jasper Carrot. Sorry, JD Campbell. But that's what we all thought, right?
Because weren't we linked with him a little bit as well?
We were.
Yeah, I remember. Jasper Carrot, he hasn't played yet, but obviously they're doing really well at the back anyway. I think Pino, when they signed him, I thought, okay, that's a fair chunk of money. Maybe he'll be an exciting player that I didn't know much about. And he is fitted in really seamlessly, I would say. Looks good. And to be fair, Sousa, I felt for him because he's come in as probably trying to compete with Mitchell, which is difficult enough. And then when he played in that European game, I watched the games, it was one of the earlier ones. I thought, he's got a chance now. And he looked quite good, and then he got Plemming sent off, didn't he? Because we were quietly linked with him a little bit as well, because we needed a left back. So shows we're in the same sort of market, and then they bought a new Uche, didn't they, on loan that we haven't seen a lot of. But again, similar to the outgoes, not doing too much. No point of ripping up too much.
No.
And just plodding along and still looking good.
So they still got Guehi then, and there was a bit of a drama. I mean, of course, Liverpool was centre at most of the dramas this summer with the Isak situation, of course. But Mark Guehi, I thought it was as good as done.
I've seen that
but then it just didn't happen. And I think Glasner almost gave Steve Parish an ultimatum in the, look, we need to keep that. Well, we need to ideally replace him or have someone lined up. And if you don't get a replacement, well, we need to keep him. Yeah, and
I think Liverpool felt like, which I get, because they managed to do it with Isak, they done it with us with Kirkes. They normally get the man they want, and I think they waited too late to try and get the right deal, and then it become a situation where Palace, obviously, like you said, with Glasner's words as well, when we ain't got time for a replacement, you ain't having him. And I think the difference, obviously, with the Isak situation is Guehi feels like someone he was never going to throw his tools out the pram too much.
And you've seen that. I saw the interviews he did before the England-Wales game. I think he was asked by the press about his situation, and they're always talking about his situation, but he just handled it so maturely.
He seems like that sort of professional, doesn't he? That he was never really kicking his tools out the pram to go anyway. Listen, if Liverpool come in, you're not going to turn it down. No. But I never felt like he'd be anything but great. And if that deal ends up happening in January or at the end of the season, then so be it. But I think while he's at Palace, as you've seen, he's going to be top. And I quite like him being almost like the main man at Palace. I think it's really good for England because I think he's just getting more and more confident, and he's almost having to be a bit of a leader back there, which is only good for England where we struggle at centre back. So it hasn't surprised me that he's just carried on as I expected, mate. And doing really good things. And as I said, I think it's kind of taken the focus away from some other good centre halves they have as well.
Yeah, so let's check out our head to head, and then we'll talk about those other players that we might want to keep tabs on a little bit later on. I think us and Crystal Palace, we've played each other through most of the divisions, but of course the first time we met in the Premier League, that was another 0-0, and that was at our place. That was on Boxing Day 2015. Our record against them has been pretty patchy of late. We had that sort of good spell where we beat them 2-0, of course. Was that Kiefer Moore?
That's right, Kiefer Moore with a diamond header.
And Marcus Senesi. Yeah. And then we beat them 1-0 later on that season. But this season, last season gone, an aggregate score of 0-0.
Incredible, isn't it? No one would have guessed that with the two coaches. No. It's mad how football works.
So, in terms of Crystal Palace, then, you are a distant admirer. Which sort of players stand out for you then?
I think it's difficult because I think people, obviously we've alluded to Guehi. I think be silly not to touch on Adam Wharton, who really exciting for England.
He's not a megastar.
He's not. He just does everything so well. He's almost what I think we're hoping Alex Scott might end up being.
Yeah.
Where he's kind of quietly controlling of the football match by just sitting deep, playing the passes. Passing range is amazing. And one that you can definitely see being big for England going forward.
There were some people comparing him with Lewis Cook a little bit, but I suppose it's just an age factor.
Probably. And I do think he's better. And we love Lewis Cook. But I think, Adam Wharton does some really clever things. I think obviously you've got Mateta up the top end of the pitch, who's a beast. They've got loads of good players. I think Sarr, we've had a lot of battles with Sarr when he was at Watford, and he was always really good. I want to kind of go into the new signing a little bit, Pino, because I think with Mateta leading the line as well as he is, and Sarr from that side, you're forgetting that he's the other one in that three-pronged attack that I think's, going under the radar a little bit. So I think we've got to keep an eye on him. But as I've mentioned a few times now, mate, it's the fact that there's no standout. It's more that they're such a well-functioning team is the thing to keep an eye on. How we haven't mentioned Munoz really yet.
Yeah,
very true.
Oh my God.
I would say there's a few teams that play wing-backs now, that kind of three at the back. He's the best right wing-back in the league. I think if you do your...
That's some statement, that.
I know it's so early, but if you had to do your team of the season at the moment in the Premier League, I think you have Munoz and Semenyo down one side, which obviously coming up. But I think Munoz is the best at that position as a natural wing-back in the Premier League. I think he's really good, so we have to keep an eye on that, mate. Big game for Trofeo at left-back to keep him quiet.
It's going to be an entertaining one. Let's check out the Palace team news then. You can see, obviously, there's international break, so we're recording fairly soon after that. I know that Jakore is not going to be available for a while. Who else?
They got Rehad, the lad that they got in at the back. That hasn't played enough. I think they got the youngster.
He's supposed to be returning after international break, Rehad, so might be available.
Might be available, but obviously, as we've said, they're doing so well, especially in that department at the moment, that they don't need to rush them back. Probably similar to ourselves. We spoke on our preview about how, Lewis Cook's slowly coming back, but we don't feel the need to rush, and they're in a similar position.
All right, then. It's hard because it's after international break, but we'll give it a go. More like you will, Tom. The brains of this operation. Crystal Palace, 3-4-3 then. What is your team?
Well, I'm still going to... It's very difficult because I've done one recently that I got bang on, Leeds away.
However,
they went, well, that was easy. You just done unchanged. I thought, I never do unchanged. I done it because I thought, how can I change Leeds? I think they just got a few good results.
Was that the square ball propaganda
it
show
was.
Where they ripped the piss out of us?
Yeah, I enjoy it. But so I'm going to make a change for Palace, even though it's really difficult to. So not going to change much, obviously. Going to stick with that three at the back. Henderson in goal again. We haven't mentioned him. One of the top keepers this season so far. I'm going to stick with Richards, Lacroix and Guehi as that back three. Munoz on the right side, Mitchell on the left side as our wing backs. Water to be in there. I'm just going to bring Will Hughes in. Okay. He does come in and out the side, of course. Just going to bring him in for Kamada just to basically make a change. I don't think it changes too much. And Will Hughes always seems to play quite well against us. So I'm going to put him in there and stick with that front three that I've mentioned in Sarr, Mateta and Pino.
So there you go. Crystal Palace fans, do you agree with that? Let us know in the comments. We would love to hear from you. And I suppose it's time for you guys at home to put in your predictions as well. I'm giving you some thinking time, Tom, because I'm struggling myself to come up with something. But I'll throw it to you first. Yeah. What are you thinking, mate? Because hard team to break down, but then they're at home. So they want to win. And plus, they may be a little bit wounded after the Everton game. Need a bit of a reaction, but then that could leave them more open. So many different quandaries going on in my head.
So many different quandaries, mate. And it's, really tough one to predict. I don't like to sit on the fence too much. I've done that a little bit lately. I think when we went to Leeds, I remember thinking, tough place to go, take a point. We got a point and blah, blah, blah. Could we? I'm going to go for, we had a few little good ones. I'm going to go that we're going to surprise people. Right. I fancy us. I do fancy it. I don't know why. Palace fans, because obviously this is on the Palace preview, and I think, they'll think, typical fan. I'm not like that. I'll predict if I don't think we're going to win. Yeah. What we say a lot on here, which I'm sure yourselves are probably very similar, we tend to do better when we're not expected to. Yeah. So we went to Tottenham and won and battered them. But then when we go at home to teams that everyone expects us to break down, we struggle sometimes. Yeah. So it's that factor that I think this is one that everyone will go take a point, get out. And weirdly, I think that would still be a blooming good result. Just got a feeling it could be one of them away days, mate. So I'm going to go for 2-1 win.
Right, I'm going to be completely honest now. I think we're going to lose 1-0. Okay. I think we're going to lose 1-0.
So, I think it's going to be really tight. You think they're probably just going to nick it and have an edge.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
We're on such a good run of form and it's brilliant. Yeah. But I don't think we've ever gone there and played that well. I mean, I know we've come away with results, but we've never played well there.
No, the best one I can remember was I think it was our first win at Sellers in the pink kit.
Yeah, 2-1.
2-1 win. We were 1-0 down. It was, do you remember when we had that? They'll remember. Scott Dan used to always score against us.
Scott Dan, yeah.
They'd always score against us from a set piece, and then we come back with Pew and Bellicophobe. And I remember us playing all right that day. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's always been quite scrappy. They would probably say the same. I don't think they've been brilliant against us either. No. Like we've mentioned a few times, feels like both teams have kind of cancelled each other out. I'm just going to say we're going to nick them. Even when I say it, I think about their defence go. Are we going to go there and get 2? Yeah. Probably not. I'm just going to try and be quietly confident, mate.
Surely this is the game for someone like Ever to step up and score. But questions will be asked soon.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, we need our front man banging in goals for sure, mate. So yeah, hopefully you can get the winner or something. That'd be nice.
Well, we'll be looking through your predictions. And look, Cherries fans, if you're watching this show, which we hope you are as well, safe travels to Selhurst. We are really looking forward to it. Fingers crossed we can come away with 3 points. And look, there are shows out all over the weekend reacting to this, including what we got straight after the game.
Oh, straight after the game, be straight on the fan cams, mate. Celebrate the win, hopefully. And then, you'll get your little vlog out, mate. Yeah. You'll get editing on that. I think you're driving this one, right?
Yeah,
so it's going to be a late night for you, isn't it?
Can't wait.
Love it. And then obviously we react to it as we do in the second look and stuff. So, and you'll be doing a little away review, which Palace have struggled with in the past. So let's see if it's any different this time round.
Good luck with that. But also, if you're an international Cherries fan as well, you can submit your opinions. And that reminds me, Tom, we have got one that was submitted last time that I need to play to you because he didn't quite send it in on time. So let's press play.
All right, Sam and Tom, greetings from Walnut Creek, California. What a game. 3 amazing goals. Gosh. Yeah, I mean, Cliver with his dorsum or inner ball or bridge.
He's on a Lilo.
I know, it's unbelievable. I mean, how the other half lived, do you know what I mean? Oh, living the dream
60,000 followers, is that what that does?
Oh.
Not instep, not side foot, but something in between. Remarkable how he hits the ball, how he carries the ball and how he hits it with top spin. It's, he's got a special technique there. Great to see it.
I was literally about to say he's gonna have to do a little one of those swishies in a minute because he's locked himself into a corner there. It was like stoppage time. He's just keeping the ball in the corner. But I like that he done a little. I normally have to do that with a bath, but he's doing it in a pool. Fine.
Back doing his magic. Be nice if he starts the next game now to carry that on. Semenyo, what an athlete. Gotta love that human being. What a guy. What a footballer. Let's hope we can keep him at least for this season, like Andoni. As long as we can, but got to be realistic. And wow, dizzy heights, never been as good. Can't believe it. Wasn't that long ago watching Shrewsbury, the back of the South Stand. But dizzy heights. So we'll call it there. Boscombe!
I love that.
Love it.
And that's what we do every week on the Global Cherries. We're trying to build up that video. So it's like a Gogglebox version. So if you're an international fan, get in your videos. What a guy.
What a guy. It makes a good point to there as well, man, especially about Cliver and how it is the way he dribbles and shoots is so unique in it. You just know what Cliver's going to do. Really good. But yeah, it's hard to concentrate too much on the full chat when he's got a pool like that. Look at his location.
And he's got a body of an Adonis as well.
It's not bad, is it?
What a lad. Other chairs, and we'll see you at Selhurst. You
see ya. Another video. I didn't mention Llama.
Oh, yes. Well done.
Love you.